Welcome to the Voluntary Option with your host, Peter Yates.
Hey everybody, Pete Yapel, your host of The Voluntary Option here, living off grid, homesteading in Arizona, living freedom, and wondering how many other people believe that they live in freedom rather than living in the freedom that we see around us on a constant anymore with our way our government is handling things and still using tactics and still trying to scare us and separate us and again then try to vaccinate us and do all these things to us. And that's not why we elect them. I mean, we don't elect them to make those decisions, man, or do those things. So we'll get to that in just a minute, man. But I want to thank you for joining us. If you can, please look at our Patreon account, www.patreon.com/CWT42 small o TVO and become a Patreon member. Donate anywhere from $5 a month up to $100 a month. As each level progresses, you receive different perks. And by the time you're at that $100 level, you're pretty well taken care of for the month as far as even medication goes, or relaxation, or at least some self-care. And that's the things that we promote, like taking care of yourself. It's your body, it's up to you to take care of it. If we preach freedom and we say, listen, it's my body, my choice, then we have to make those choices and we have to do those things correctly as well. So we can't just make those statements and then not do anything about it. And I kind of try to live that life as well as my wife does. Here at our property now here in Arizona is called Mother Nature's Den, and you can find that on Facebook and on our website too. But Mother Nature's Den now has finally launched its product line. It's finally now we're producing our own medications. We're putting out our own product line of CBD. And we've got right now we're just got a couple of different tinctures on our website. One is a straight CBD, one is a CBG, and one is a CBD 1-to-1 CBD. And they're available on our website at www.canoetalk42small-o.com. Also, my new banner. I've got a new banner. I tried to listen, guys. I'm always working around here right now. As you can see, there's insulation in the walls, getting ready to hang sheetrock. There's always something to do out here to improve my life. So I'm always doing something. And I try to get a good shot with the banner that I just, got off of my Teespring account. And it's really cool. I'll move it a little bit. I don't care if I mess it up by camera. It says, the voluntary option. Libertarians. There we go. Jim's gonna pull it up for you right now on the thing. He's got it in red too, which is cool. So, but yeah, it says it's the first choice. It's not a third party. I'm tired of being called a third party or a wasted vote or this other thing. No, it's a first choice. That's my first choice of people that represent the same ideals in which I do. So if you go to our Teespring account, you can see all sorts of stuff from the voluntary option as well as Can We Talk, which is our brand. And, and then there's combination stuff and Mother Nature's Den as well. We got masks on there. Some are really pretty cool and some are really sarcastic. Helen's got, a really twisted sense of humor about them. Like this mask is useless and relax Karen, it's only allergies. She really became creative and because it's that silly at times to us, especially the situations that I've seen it in. We went out to eat just the other day. Freedom, let's go out and have, free commerce. I can go out and somebody prepared something and I want their wares. Let me buy them. I could do that if I purchased a mask for $1 so I could walk into my table, but my table is a COVID-free zone. Because once I got to my table, I could blow my nose in the mask. It didn't matter what I did with it. But when I got up and moved, I became in the COVID zone again. And this is just it's getting stupid, you know. If you choose to wear a mask and you believe that it gives you protection, by all means, wear your mask. But don't look at the guy that's not wearing a mask as if though he is a harmful, terrible ogre. If he chooses to not wear that mask, it is his choice. We all need to be able to make our own choices. You know, um, uh, there's so much that we give up. We give up. We voluntarily give these, the people in charge, the ability to do the things that they do to us. We complain about it all the time, and the diversion is to bitch about the other guy. That's the diversion. Like we don't have to address a problem if we call the other guy an idiot. Well, we're calling them all idiots, but address the problem. We have really overcomplicated things. We've overcomplicated things to the point where citizens don't matter. And this whole right to vote and let's vote and who can vote and who can't vote, some dude's got a weed charge and he can't vote. I mean, why? What's that? He smoked pot and it's a felony. Ooh, that terrible, gift from Mother Nature. And now the guy can't vote. But let's talk about this. People are so afraid of all of this. I can't go to a voting booth. Why? Have you been to Walmart? The grocery store, any store. You're herded in one door. They got 12 entrances, but they'll herd you into one because that's safer somehow. During their warped perception of distancing and sneezing. But they'll herd you into one little hole rather than let you come into 12, where people might come into less contact with other people. So the whole thought process is ridiculous. Look at Texas right now. Look at all the crap's going on in Texas. That governor's allowing certain things to open and certain things not to. And it's favoritism. And it's what he's going to allow and who's giving him money. That's not freedom. We can find freedom. We can create our own freedom, and you don't have to move off grid like I did. You don't have to. I mean, to me, that was the best freedom I could have. I'm free of all of it, man. I'm free of all of it. I don't rely on them for power, water, nothing. I don't rely on them for nothing. But you can have freedom in a city still. Respect yourself, respect others, and that's about it, really. Like, mind your own business for once. Let's not make everything a national headline. Now, if something's unjust, yes. Look at what's going on. Hey, Jim, can you come on for a minute?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep, I can, man. Thanks.
Oh, there you go. How you doing?
All right, cool. Hey, welcome, man. Like we were talking prior to the show, about the case that's going on. Is it in Kentucky, I believe, right? And you pointed out a great quote somebody on Facebook had put out there. about what's going on, and I want to let you tell everybody a little bit about it, or refresh them, let them know what we're talking about at least. Even
well,
I should have done
it
that.
was Ford Fisher on Facebook that I was quoting. Brought it up here so they could see. He said one officer in the Breonna Taylor shooting is charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment for, quote, blindly firing his gun into the apartment. The charge is for the fact that he could have ended human life, but no charges for the fact that someone did indeed die in the act of blindly firing.
Absolutely. And when we were talking about this before, I said the same thing. I said, then it's false justice. You know, I mean, they try to make it look like there's justice in this. You know, the other two, nothing happens to the other 2 cops at all. You know, and then he, you know, this one here who's already been fired. So how, you know, I mean, they're really not ruining his life much more. You know, but he's not, there's no responsibility still here. You know, still no responsibility. And it's just got to stop, man. You know, the whole misconception of the public thinking that when they see a police car go down the road and it says protect and serve, that it has anything to do with them is maddening to me anymore, because they protect and they serve the government, and that's all they do, really.
Yeah. Or like, I think what it was one of those dystopian future shows that had a police car. Oh, I think it was fucking Transformers. One of the Transformers movies. One of the Decepticons uses a cop car, and when he transforms, instead of saying to protect and serve, it says to punish and enslave. And it's like, that is so poignant. That is so perfectly on point to their job, unfortunately, in today's society. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I just thought that was important that people heard that, and I thought it was you know, it makes sense. It's, again, you know, like, you know, he's not even being charged with anything really to do with the crime. And when I heard it was that he didn't even get in charge. It's for just firing a gun going into another apartment or something, you know? So, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, there's any responsibility taken for the death of this person. And again,
it was really weird when I read it. I actually didn't know until I read these facts, because I was totally, I don't know, I was trying, I don't know why I hadn't dipped into that one prior to this outcome, you know, because I guess I assumed it was going to be just like all the rest of them, and it's, you know, it's playing out a little different with a little twist, you know, a little sitcom twist for you, because the way they're doing it. But I didn't know that supposedly now they're saying that the cops did knock on the door. It wasn't a no-knock raid. People are saying that we need to end no-knock raids, but this wasn't particularly a no-knock raid. The cops supposedly knocked a bunch of shelves and announced themselves and opened the door, and her boyfriend opened fire, hitting one cop in the leg. That's why they opened fire in the first place. So that's where everybody on the, you know, whatever you would call it, the police side, would use it as the justification. But I'm still, just like you're saying, it's, if she wasn't shooting at the cops, then she's a bystander.
She's not posing a threat. Right.
The police are expected to be trained to know who the threat is and shoot only at the threat. And these guys obviously were so not that the bullets were going into whole other entire apartments. You know, now one of those bullets happened to go into the same apartment and kill somebody else in that apartment. I just can't wrap my mind around how everyone can't unanimously decide to, you know, that somebody, you know what I mean, has to, you know, I don't know. That's what I expected.
If it was the other way around, right? If it was the other way around, somebody be in jail for a very, very long time. They'd be in jail for a very long time.
If they didn't have a badge, they would be in jail for a long time immediately. Yes. Even if it was justified self-defense against the person attacking them, if their self-defense killed a bystander by accident, they'd be charged with accidental death or accidental whatever. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
Manslaughter or
right.
whatever
The
terminology
thing
they
about it
use.
is, right. The thing about it is that yes, the boyfriend did shoot, but that's not, that's not in question. He did shoot, but like you say, they're supposed to be trained, man. Aren't you supposed to be, when you walk in the room, there's supposed to be the lady there screaming with her hands up, and then the bad guy with the gun, and you're supposed to shoot the bad guy with the gun, not the lady screaming,
Right.
And
Right.
you can't make that mistake in real life. It's not a cardboard cutout, and go, oops, you're charged with shooting the neighbor's lights out. I mean, come on, it's
Right.
not,
Right.
it's not just, in my opinion. But all right,
I'm
man,
always I'm
appreciate
always
it.
hesitant. I'm always hesitant. Just the last thing I'll say about it. I'm always
Yeah,
hesitant about wishing the state to punish its own too, because it's almost like a validation of the state. You know what I mean? I want this cop
right,
charged with murder because we would be charged with murder. You know what I mean? Like that's like, I
right,
mean, I don't know. This is not the same at all. But I don't want a cop
right,
to be arrested if he happens to be smoking a joint walking down the road. You know what I mean? I wouldn't
right,
want to. You know what I
right,
mean? I'm not saying
right.
this
I don't
cop
care
shouldn't
who
be.
it
I
is.
don't know enough of the details of the actual circumstance of what really happened. It's just, to me, it seems like if you have made the decision that at least one officer there was so negligent that bullets endangered other people's lives, then I can't surmise how you could possibly not come to the conclusion that somebody has to pay for one of the innocent bystanders' death.
Right, oh, right,
I don't know.
or just the fact that you weren't going in there just to shoot your gun in the air. You were going in there to shoot at someone, and someone did die. You know,
Right,
you
right.
so and that's not being addressed at all. That's just like oh, let's scrub that one under the rug. Let's move on along. It's
Weird.
it's crazy, man. Crazy. All right,
Yep.
brother, man. Peace. Thanks,
All right.
man. Thanks. I love it when Jim comes on, man, because he offers a different layer, and that I appreciate. I truly appreciate him. He does a lot of work too, man. He produces this show. He produces my wife's and my show that's on Tuesday nights. Can we talk? So we keep him busy, man, and he's always gracious and giving, and we appreciate that. But back to where we're at, man, and living this life of freedom, and the ability to live it wherever we choose to live it. I watched a show the other day on TV, which is like very rare, but me and Helen got done work. She got done work, and we were just laying here, and it was about some alien thing, or America's Book of Secrets, and they had. Um, but I thought I had my do not disturb on. I apologize for that. But we were watching the show, and all these all these uh, high ranking officials that were covering this whole Area 51 thing, were lying about everything and keeping things secret. And but the funny thing about it, what I'm leading to with that is that when this guy said that that at first they say, oh, there's something, we don't know what it is, and then they send out all these troops, man, shoulder to shoulder, man. They pick up every scrap of debris. I mean, like they completely comb the area, uh, shoulder to shoulder, man. All our military boys, and they're picking this stuff up. They bring it all back. And the guy says the picture that they showed of the weather balloon was just a fake picture. It wasn't the picture of the material that they gathered. That's first of all. But second of all they said was it was a weather balloon, and every human being in the United States of America, because they're good sheep, followed exactly what the government said. They never questioned it any further. I mean, there were some, don't get me wrong, that's why it stays alive and why we're kind of like know a bit more. Sorry about that. Know a bit more, about extraterrestrial beings, but they said it. So weather balloon, and everybody just believed it. And this guy said, all our government has to do, if the sky turned purple tomorrow, and we were all just going to die, but because the sky turned purple, all they'd have to do is get on TV and go, that's okay. It happens, we, did some research and the sky will turn purple. And everybody will go, okay, sky's purple. I'm going to be concerned personally. But it's that easy anymore. That's why I say it's FreeDUMB. You still have your rights. You have your rights, that you believe you have anyway. You have your rights to certain speech. You have your rights to certain beliefs in religion. Certain ones you can, or even within your religion there's restrictions. Who knows? You have the right to bear arms if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where people are sensible enough to understand that it's okay, and that's our right, and we should be able to. And, I love Arizona for that reason. There's so many rights that we have that every single day we don't get the whole right. We just get part of it. And we are okay with that FreeDUMB. It's okay, guys, you can do that but don't do it unless, and if you want to, you got to pay us. And everything always costs you, if you notice. Like we have the right to assemble. The right to assemble we have. Oh, I got to get a drink of water. We have the right to assemble if we pay an official a permit fee, and if they deem it non-hostile or anti-government anymore. Heaven forbid, honestly, if you want to piss the government off, you tell the truth about them. And that's the God's honest truth. If you really want to piss them off, you tell the truth. It's not my goal to piss our government off. That's not my goal at all. My goal is to create a different government system. And listen, I believe in localization. I believe that, we can definitely make better laws in our own communities than we can blanketed by, hypocritical, money mongers. I agree with that 100%. That us as smaller communities can make better decisions for ourselves. And then in turn gives us as Americans the freedom to go anywhere we would like to live within an environment that encapsulates the same beliefs and values in which we believe. And we hold true and we find interesting and we find to be, important. So that kind of a governmental system is to me is a beautiful system. Do we need a federal system? Well, we always say in the Fed, and when we say that, we mean that. And taxation is theft. Every bit of it is theft. They just steal your money, tax you on it 16 ways to Sunday. Think of how many times something is taxed before it hits it. I thought we did like the Boston Tea Party for that once. We go, it's only been 240 some years, That's pretty quick to screw something good up. That's, we wasted no time once that ball got rolling. We didn't waste a single second. And we destroyed an ideal land of opportunity, of freedom, of liberty, of life, and the pursuit of our own happiness. Whatever that happiness might be. Mine's different than yours. But it doesn't make it any worse or any less important. But we've given up all that. to a TV in a box that orates to us our condition, that orates to us, you know, shocking things constantly, you know. I always think of the Anne Murray song, "A Little Good News Today," man. And if you guys aren't familiar with that song, please familiarize yourself with it. It's a really cool song from like early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. "Little Good News Today." Anne Murray. My wife sings it beautifully. She does. She does actually did a video of some kind of it. I don't know where to find that. Otherwise, I'd direct you right to that. But it's a great song about, like, you know, like waking up in a land that was really, you know, happy and free and, you know, no chaos, nobody getting shot, nobody getting robbed, nobody getting OD, and, you know, all these things just laid out, you know. And you know, and the funny thing about it is, I listened to that song and it was written in the 70s, you know, and it'll say, you know, it says, Bryant Gumbel's talking about the fighting going on in Lebanon. Well, that fighting is going on right here now. Right here. We allowed ourselves to become so full of hate. We allowed ourselves to give up the true principle of electing people that had our best interest in mind. We gave that all up. We just elected whoever was being elected and went on about life, not paying attention to a thing that they did. Not paying attention to one thing that they did. So who do we blame but ourselves? So how do we correct it? Ourselves. We're the only way we can get to freedom again. Let's wash away half of the dumbness in our life. Okay, you know, in a lot of cases, you know, social media is very helpful, and in a lot of ways, it's very destructive as well. But it's the same thing with all of these mediums. We have to use them properly. If people understood that, like, it's not scary to be a libertarian. It's not. It was not a frightening experience whatsoever when I changed. And I was Republican. Why? Because my father was. That's why. No other reason. I didn't know nothing. Until I started paying attention. And once I paid attention, I can't stop myself. And this is an issue I have. You know, like the cannabis movement. You know, if I had a tenth of a penny for every hour that I've put into the movement, I'd be a very well-off man. To me, it's not about money. It's the same thing here in the political realm to me. It's not really about money to me. I mean, gosh, I lose money in my system. You know, people go, well, how are people going to survive? Well, people survived for a lot of years before, you know, government was, you know, still their dad and mom. You know, there's called community. You know, there's outreach. There's ways we can make things happen. If somebody wants a road, we pave a road. How do we do it? Because everybody on the road wants to pave the road. We pave the road. And then you know, well, I got to spend the money on paving the road. Well, yeah, well, you throw tax dollars everywhere. You don't know where they're going. What are they really doing? Let's use the post office, the U.S. Post Office. Bravo to the federal organization. Man, my ass. I went there the other day expecting a package. Now, the package was a little too big to fit into my box. And I only have a P.O. box because, again, I live off grid. And, You know, I don't think that the mailman throws on studded tires just to come on out here to give me my mail. It doesn't work like that. You know, I have to have a P.O. box. I don't have rural delivery. So it goes to the post office and it's too big. The woman tells me, first of all, she gets mad at me because I said shit twice, and I don't really care. I said, "You're lucky I didn't say fuck," and I did say that. Why? Because again, it's freedom of speech to me. I wasn't being rude. I was totally aggravated that my package was thrown over someone else's fence, and just by chance they happen to work. It was the mother of someone that works with my wife. And it's the only reason why I even got my package. But listen, in order to get my package now from the post office, I had to pay $46 and change shipping. That I already paid the shipping on the package when I purchased the item to be shipped to my post office box. Now, in order to stop them from shipping it back to UPS, I had to pay them $47. If I didn't need that package, mind you, if I did not need that package, they would have not got $46 from me. But there's a woman behind a counter who owes salary I pay. She's my employee. Right? I mean, everybody pays federal taxes, pays these people, right? That's your employee, is talking to me in this fashion and telling me that I'm lucky I'm even getting it. I'm lucky I'm getting my mail. My mail, a parcel being delivered to me. I'm a lucky person for that. I thought she couldn't withhold my mail. Why would she have any federal right to hold any parcel, package, or anything of mine? You know, it's ludicrous what goes on. Why do we have to have that position? Okay, let's think of things in some kind of sensical manner. Banks and offices are closed on the weekend. Why you get post office half a day, and maybe your bank's open a half a day. But why can they hold your money hostage? And why would they want to hold your mail hostage? I don't know. I was talking about herding before, and I was talking about that for a reason. Because if we can herd into a Walmart, we can herd in front of a voting booth. And folks, I say it for this reason, and I say it respectfully. If your ballot comes in the mail and you think this whole election's a joke, and you give it to your 7-year-old and he fills it out and mails it in and you sign it laughing, it's really not funny. Okay. Now, has it happened? I don't know. Could it happen? Absolutely. God dang lootly it can happen. Will it happen? Most positively, it will happen. So do what you're supposed to do and go to your precinct and vote. Wear your mask. Ooh, Halloween's coming. What's everybody doing? Going out naked face? Is that going to be the new scary? Everybody gets to go out and woohoo, look at me. That's me. That's what I look like. Come on, man. Let's stop this lunacy. Honestly, I saw a sign on a door to an establishment that said, "Your eyes are the star. Wear your mask." I was like, wow, there's some beautiful propaganda. Hey, you with the beautiful eyes, cover them ugly teeth. I mean, come on, man. It's just not right. It's just not right. We are living in the freedom by choice. We're allowing the freedom, folks. My suggestion to everybody is get involved. Helen and we've reached out to the Arizona LP here for Yavapai County, and we're going to be going to meetings, starting going to meetings. Both of us plan on running for something. We don't. I'm not sure what what yet. Uh, Not big positions, just county and local to start and start making the changes where they really need to be. And there's but we've been here a short time and we've noticed some things, that are things that have been brought to our attention. People kind of know what we do too. We're not just quiet people. We first of all, we're New Yorkers, so truly New Yorkers. So we have a tendency to be loud, and we know how to talk, and we have both of those things perfected. And we have opinion. And again, it's always just opinion. I tell people all the time, I'll never try to change your mind. All I'll just can do is offer you what my thoughts are on something, and if you tend to agree with those, go to the lp.org. I believe that you might find it surprising how you'll fit into the mold of someone that really truly wants freedom, life, liberties, pursuit of happiness. Just to be able to own your own stuff, man, and have nobody bother you, because of it, and be respectful and not worry about others, as long as they're not harming you or anybody else around you. What harm are they really doing just because they live differently than you? Isn't that what America is, folks? We sit back all the time, and I live 5 miles now from the Hualapai Indian tribe reservation, and have been blessed. I've been down the cultural center. I've talked to the medicine man there, getting ready to go back again too. It's real important, man, because there's a lot of herbs out here and a lot of holism that I'm stumbling across, and I'm finding them, and I'm Googling what these plants are, and amazed at, what they used to do with them. So just going to get a bit of history in, to help to try to evolve this back, this perfect art, that Mother Nature offers us back, you know, uh, and that's just my freedom, that the bee sanctuary that I'm putting up next year, that's a freedom of mine, man, producing and helping and putting back into the community, producing aware, it's pretty cool. Uh, but and we can all do it, guys. We can all like we all help each other too. Like Jim's my producer, and Jim's now he's gosh almost 3 hours away from me. But if I need something, hey Jim, and sure enough, man, he's always there to lend a hand. And we found a lot of great people like that here. The thing is too about living out here and living in freedom the way we've chose to live in freedom is that you drive an hour. Like you got every part of your day is 3 hours of driving. Like you could just be going to the grocery store and it take you shit 3 hours and 45 minutes. You know, but that's a challenge. But not next year. Not next year. Once the greenhouse is up and there's a sustainable there's chicken. There'll be chickens. There'll be eggs. Listen, I'm not going to raise my own pigs. I'm going to actually pay someone to. That's my, it's just, I don't want to raise pigs, man. It's just too messy. I just don't want to do it. But anyway, back away from that. Anyway, back to, let's really think about this election cycle, guys. It's like 40, I think 43 days, 44, 43, 44 days away. Joe Jorgensen is really our best hope at a free society. Uh, Joe's true libertarian, man. She's cut right from the mold, man. That woman, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. She's right. She dots all the I's and crosses all the T's when you think of, the LP, and it's a beautiful thing. And then Spike, he's, as anarchist as it gets, and it's a great pairing. Yeah, excellent pairing. I could see a lot of great advisors that they could put together. The best part about it is so much of our government will be shrunk. Our kids will come home. Like we don't need them overseas, man. What are they over there for? Why? Can somebody tell me again? I don't really know. I really don't. We've got we've got an armed forces that could wipe out this entire world 10 times over. Nobody can touch us. So why do we need to be everywhere else? Why can't we just be here protecting what we got? And, not only protecting what we got, how about like giving us back what we've lost? Let's get the people that are in prison right now for victimless crimes, where there is no victim, there is no crime, and people are sitting in jail for life. Richard DeLisi's in Florida. He's in jail since the 80s for 95 years. It's a living death sentence. He'll never see the light of day for cannabis. I mean, it's silly. Craig Cecil, he's home right now. He's home. He's at a house arrest from Indiana's Terre Haute. He's life without the possibility of parole. But that's only because of the COVID thing. They can call him back, and they haven't changed his sentence. Life without the possibility of parole. And the man was a mechanic on a truck that transported cannabis that didn't roll. And he took the whole rap, man. I think he was tried in 5 different states until they nailed him. And so one state, I think it was Georgia. Then they threw him in freaking Terre Haute to rot, man. Nice guy. Never even smoked pot, I don't think, at the time. I bet he's smoking it now. Well, he can't. He's on home arrest. Yeah, he ain't smoking it. It's too bad. He should be able to. And let's talk about that. Had a guest on our show last night, Adam Fogelman, who was just released from jail in Ohio. And he's at a halfway house in Cincinnati. In the halfway house, within the first few hours of him being there, someone was shot 10 feet from him out in the street. In the last, it was yesterday, prior 24 hours, 3 people had died and have been brought back from death from overdoses. Right? I mean, this is, how's this? And then nothing happened to them. Nothing happened to these guys. Didn't get any kind of real trouble. Here's a guy that was in jail for weed. Like ridiculous how they do it, with edibles especially. They weigh the whole candy. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I mean, you're getting charged for poundages and ounces of shit that ain't even weed. But that's how they do it. And they get you on production and manufacture and distribution. Every freaking law that they could throw in your lap for weed. So how's that justice for Adam? He's supposed to be in a halfway house to reintroduce himself into society. And if that's a reintroduction to society, it's pretty real. Because there's overdoses on every corner in America and people getting shot everywhere. And that's just America anymore, folks. That's the America we've allowed. That's the America we call FreeDUMB. People want to blame groups. Don't blame groups. Again, blame yourself. Let's get the right people in office. When we start doing that and then eliminating offices and getting rid of half of the goddamn government we don't need. I mean, there's agencies that are just ridiculous. And the money that just flows to them. I think it can be really scary for some, I guess, because it sounds like an overthrowing, like X-ray and mutiny and come on. It's being an American. It's exercising the rights you're given. When a government is tyrannous, it's up to us to overthrow it. And this government is tyrannous. You've got an old, senile, old dude on TV getting ready to mandate Americans to wear masks, man. If that ever happens, I'm telling you, they'll be throwing a lot of people in jail. I'm not going to wear a mask. I don't need to. There's no need for me to. I accept the risk. You may spread it to others. I live in the woods, folks, 7 miles off of a road, of a paved road. I'm not getting anybody sick. I don't know. FreeDUMB. We're going to allow ourselves to be mandatorily vaccinated. We're going to allow our government to determine the fact that we need to be injected with something. Can we ask a simple question if you're going to vote for Joe Biden this year? The man has been in office in Washington, D.C. He's been there since Nixon. What's he done? Our world's shit, man. Does he want to accept any of the responsibility of that? If you're a minority, take a look at the laws he's passed to throw your brothers and sisters in jail. Keep them there. He's not a good candidate. He's not a good leader. He's, this whole to make our election about COVID is truly what we should be used to, because the focus is all over here when they're screwing everything else up, guys. The MORE Act's postponed. That might not be important to everybody. It's important to me. Your HIPAA rights have been revoked. During COVID, our HIPAA rights have been revoked. My personal, do you understand how people fought to keep their information private? Yeah, do you understand what that took to pass that legislation? And because somebody got COVID, we no longer have that right to have our information be protected. But let's be realistic. How much of our life is really private? Everything we do is monitored by a card, by a phone, by a tag, by a this, by a that. Every time we use a phone, every time we use our credit card, every time we drive our car. We are so monitored and everybody knows what you look like. Why? Because of facial recognition, But, that's getting better, I guess, because, now with a mask, they really have to be able to concentrate on certain areas of your head, I guess. But you better hope that there ain't a bunch of people that got the same top of a forehead as you got, or you could be going to jail. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. How about this freedom? We've got Adela Wisdom and Aaron Wisdom. And Adela and Aaron Wisdom are both running for office in Missouri. Adela's running for Senate, and Aaron is running for lieutenant governor. And they have been so conveniently arrested for growing cannabis. They have harassed this couple because they're freedom fighters. Adela's a Republican constitutionalist, but I actually had her on my show, and Adam Kokesh actually co-hosted that show with me. We asked her a tremendous amount of questions, and you got to run sometimes in certain areas to get into office, no matter what, under whatever tag they allow you to, and then you can change whatever you want to. I just believe that you just wear your colors on your sleeve and you march, and you tell people, listen, there's nothing to be afraid of. You should be afraid of red and blue. Why are you afraid of any certain circumstance? of our colors. Why? Anyway, we live, we represent a life of true freedom and a life of, you get to be, making the decisions rather than being forced upon decisions upon you. Isn't that how it really reads? That you have true involvement, man. It's your business, man. It's your government. You own that sucker. Well, it ain't like that. We live in freedom. I believe we can change it, though, man. I really, truly do. And again, go to Joe Jorgensen's website, joej2020.com. Pull it up. If you can help her out with a donation, that would be great. If not, hey, when she's in your area, man, on a tour, whatever, her or Spike, make sure you please stop, man, and see these guys. They offer an incredibly great platform, and you'd be doing yourself an injustice to not at least just listen. Just listen at least, and then you'll have an idea. But guys, listen, I'm going to sign off for this week. I'm glad you bared with me. I know I have a lag in my video. I know I do. It's a technical issue. Living off grid again, trying to get this whole satellite internet to work. I got to buy another component next week. Actually, I'm ordering it today. See how quickly Amazon can get it to me. And we should be able to fix the video feeds and the audio feeds on both Helen's side and my side. But from me and my producer, Jim Freedom, I want to thank you for joining us at the Voluntary Option. Like I say every week, everybody, live your freedom. I know I do.